Market open on your screen. We're up 30 points. 22,671 is where the Nifty is starting this morning. 74,743 is where the Sensex is at right now. And of course, since banks saw that big breakout yesterday, I think they'll naturally be in focus. 49,400 is where we're at, absolutely flat. So yesterday, private banks, more than anything else, is what did the trick for the Nifty and the Bank Nifty as well. PSU banks were doing well in any case, but private financials also picked up. Mid-cap index is up 1/3%, and you've got the small-cap index, which is starting even stronger with a 0.5% pop. So that's the picture. 30 points, though, to begin the day this morning at 22,675. Sonia has got stock-specific rates. Sonia.
Well, thanks a lot for that. I think it's all about banks, right? As you rightly pointed out, it's a big move that we're seeing in the banking space. Let's take it straight to ICICI Bank. Remember, the last few days has been very good for ICICI Bank. There's been large delivery buying of 1,400 crores yesterday. The stock is sitting at a record high. It's up 16% in 2024. So now it's just, consolidating around that 1,150 mark. Let's take it to HDFC Bank as well. There was large delivery buying yesterday of around 1,355 odd crores. So just consolidating around these levels on HDFC Bank this morning. Indigo is also on my radar today because there is an analyst meet that happens later in the evening at 5 p.m. The stock is at a 52-week high. The company will talk about, business with regards to the new orders, etc. So Indigo chugging higher about 1% over there. Birlasoft has been disappointing in terms of earnings, but the stock is not seeing a major reaction right now. The revenue and the new deal values were under a bit of pressure. Revenue growth was barely 1.6%, and that's something that the street doesn't like, down about 1.5% on the stock. Trent came out with numbers yesterday during market hours, but look at the up move this morning. 4% higher. Generally happens with Trent, where, the next day there is a lot of follow-on buying in the stock. Good revenue and EBITDA growth, and the stock, as we speak, is at a fresh record high, up almost 4.5%. I'm watching for Ambuja Cements very closely. The earnings are coming out tomorrow. Remember, after Ultratech Cement's strong numbers, all eyes will be on Ambuja Cements, whether they can perform well this time, and there is a positive bias on that stock as well. Poonawalla Fincorp is another set of numbers which the street definitely would like, 2.5% higher now. Strong AUM growth of 55%. Shoppers Stop is another one. The profit growth has come in at 62% for Shoppers Stop. The stock is up almost about 3.5%. And NMDC has hiked lump ore prices by 400 rupees and fines by 200 per ton. So NMDC is up in the green as well. I'm also watching out for M&M. There is a refreshed version of the XUV 300 that they have launched at a very attractive price point. And this is one space that is doing very well. Just look at M&M chugging along now, 2.5% higher. So definitely the street likes that. But what I like for the bulls is what you're seeing here, which is a 50-point up move on the Nifty. This is on top of the recent rally that we've seen. So clearly the bulls are in a firm control of the market, and lots of stocks to talk about. Back to you.
Well, let's talk about some of those stocks. And Sonia, Vesuvius, that was the stock of the day I highlighted earlier today. It already has a big run. It doesn't trade very, very cheap, but these numbers are beautiful. Very, very good set of numbers. Margins coming in at the best we have seen in the last 10 years or so. So that's why this expensive stock is getting even more expensive. It's now up close to around 14%. Jana Bank, that one is up more than 10% as we speak. Big up move is what we're seeing on that one. The other big gainer is Kalpataru Projects. Well, that stock is up close to around 9%. Volumes picking up on that one as well. KFin Technologies, well, we had the management that was talking about a good growth that they're looking at, 15 to around 20%. And if the markets are good, which they are, then they can do margins of close to around 45%. So explains why that stock as well is up and about in today's trading session. What else is not doing too well then? You have Tata Chemicals. The numbers didn't look very, very good. That's one of the top losers, down close to around 3% as we speak. Patel Engineering, a few days ago, they went ahead and they had raised some money from the market. I'm not sure whether or not, some of the shares have got credited. So the short-term investors, they're looking to cash out, and that could be one of the reasons why it's one of the top volume losers on the downside, down close to around 7.5%. SCI Land, that's the other one that sees very volatile moves. That stock is down close to around 4% as well as we speak. Another gainer that's reacting to numbers is Canfin Homes. The stock is up close to around 2%. And Jyoti Structures, they were in the midst of doing a rights issue. Well, that one had a fair bit of interest. The stock is up close to around 5%, one of the top volume movers in today's trading session. So it's a good start. The Nifty Bank for the time being is more or less quietish after the big move that we saw in yesterday's trading session. But the Nifty, it has a date with 23,000 odd, and it appears it's making its way out there.
All right, so 22,700 now on the index. So 75 points more from here. and you're essentially going to be at the previous all-time high. 22,775 is where that sits at. Just a few other names, right? Trent, look at that on go. 7% gain on Trent, and it is the number one volume-led gainer across the market. 500,000 shares, over 500,000 shares traded, and that is quite something, right? The number two name by volumes is BSE. BSE yesterday made a low of, what was the low? 2,600. From 2,600, it's come up to 2,840 with a it was up 4%, so it's cooled off a little bit, 3% right now. But again, lots of interest, 500,000 shares traded there as well. Nigel pointed out Kalpataru. Look at KEC as well. KEC is up 4.5%, 764 on KEC right now. Hindustan Zinc, I think we did point out, 2.25% higher. Keep an eye out on CMS Info. It starts about 2% higher. Godrej Industries is up another 2.5%. It's had a very good move. Gillette India is up 2.75%. Jaiprakash once again is coming up. Yesterday ended flat after starting about 4-5% higher. So keep an eye on that one as well. Big volumes for this point in the day. And I think on the downside, it's Patel Engineering, which we pointed out, with an 8% cut. SBFC, of course, that large block has gone through. It's down 3. Tata Chemicals has recovered from the low. It's down 3.5. Birlasoft is down 2.5. Yes Bank is down about 1.25%. And KPIT Tech reported very good numbers. We just have the management with us in 10 minutes or so. The guidance looks very good. And the only thing which people are complaining about, of course, is very high valuations. But that's the case with many. So for now, we got about 35 points on the index. Anand